Part 3! It's part 3! Watch it! It's part 3! It's not! Stop! Alright, so
okay, so this video is going to focus around one instance of essay. I wanted to put all the essay allegations into one video. Part 3. Final video until Jimmy responds, at least. I sort of overestimated how easy...
By the way, chat, he lawyered up and he's gonna sue the fuck out of Dogpack, apparently, when he releases the final video. Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
That would be, as far as, like, getting everything approved with victims and lawyers and, like, also...
Shit.
You know, traditional media is involved. They've been DMing me, you know, New York Times, Time Magazine, also like documentary people. I don't know. You're like, hey, I've worked with Netflix and Hulu and Apple TV and Peacock. Are you interested?
God.
And I'm like, I don't know. But, you know, I think people should go to those more legitimate sources to get their stories out. So I've been referring people to other people because traditional has, you know, more resources than I do and better legal protections than I do, for sure. I do have sort of that bigger project, the original part 3, and I have a lot of other interviews and
it's kind of scary though. I don't know how this guy is so confident. Mr. Beast has like basically infinite money, man. I'm from YouTube. I can't believe you don't sing the intro before every react. That kind of made me laugh. You don't sing it before every react.
Other allegations that I'm working on putting together, so I have something for when Mr. Beast responds. Chat. If his response is bad, then I can sort of point out, hey, he lied here and he deflected and straw man argument or whatever, as well as like dropping new allegations and doing it in an opportune way so that they get the most eyeballs. But yeah, I just wanted to say this is just around sort of one allegation. Also, everything in this video is allegedly. This video is not monetized. It's for educational purposes only. This is matters of public interest. I'll put a full disclaimer on the screen. But yeah, here's the video. Okay, today I'm going to be covering Mr. Beast's secret CEO, James Warren.
Holy smokes. What the frick? Yo, he's into Leatherman? He's into Gotchi?
His involvement in essay cover-ups, like the one including his best friend, LaKoya Hill, who also happens to be Mr. Beast's secret chief operating officer, or was. And then I want to touch on the man himself, Jimmy Donaldson. Mr. Beast has very publicly and transparently been engaging in a massive cover-up, deleting a lot of evidence, and I think a lot of this cover-up is going sort of completely...
For those that don't know, he started deleting Facebook streams and all sorts of other things because he's scared, essentially. Yeah, he's hiding evidence. It's not looking good for him.
Under the radar, we're not even aware of what's being swept under the rug, and they're getting away with hiding and deleting evidence. After I called out James Warren by name in my last video, his Instagram and Facebook got taken down, and his...
That's a red flag. That is definitely a red flag.
LinkedIn got taken down. So quick profile on James Warren. He's Jimmy's cousin and secret CEO, and I say secret because, you know, they're not very open about that fact. Like, he doesn't post about it on social media. It wasn't ever attached to his LinkedIn. He's never featured or really referenced anywhere. I heard that he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends. There's allegedly...
this is alleged, okay.
Domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases. Specifically, that surprise witness on YouTube. She's been super helpful in, like, behind the scenes, just submitting freedom of information requests and just helping me out a lot in general. She's super nice, super smart. She'll be posting a lot of updates on her channel, as she has been about the Mr. Beast situation.
Mr. Beast video caused a military operation.
James Warren, also allegedly an ex-drug addict. I've heard that he offered cocaine and hookers to editors to stay late. And then the really big thing is that there was some incident...
actually so strong. Holy.
Between him and a female colleague that resulted in the female colleague leaving the company and receiving 3 years in severance pay. I'm still actively looking into this incident, so if you have information, let me know. But I've heard from multiple credible sources that this is true and this did happen. Also, I should quickly clarify that a lot of this investigation is allegedly. You know, that's sort of the nature of these instances. I have a lot of testimony, corroborating testimony. But the reason I'm publishing this is that hopefully it brings more information to light. Like after, you know, the Jake Weddle interview got posted, which was all mostly testimony. People can't.
Anyone want to talk about how it looks like a fucking Pinterest board? This guy's a Pinterest board.
Came out corroborating the story, and ultimately Jimmy ended up apologizing and offering him $190,000, which to me I think is most likely an admission of guilt. You know, you don't apologize for.
Wait, I want to reach out and say I didn't mean to cause you mental stress with that video. I apologize because it had affected you. You mentioned you'd like to be paid out the rest of the prize money. The other $190,000. I have zero expectations of you mentioning me sending you this money publicly or taking down any videos. This is me just wanting to help and make sure you're good. I just need to know if it's so use back. We'll send the money on Monday. So he wants to send the guy, that last guy that did the video, money. I mean, if that's true, I mean, I guess okay.
Things that you didn't do. So anyway, I just want to get that out of the way. But what's not allegedly is that James Warren was the former COO of acquisitions of a real estate investment firm called Greenstone Ventures LLC, which is one of the businesses listed in this indictment of his former business partner, Joshua Hutchins, who was sentenced to 10 years in prison for running a real estate Ponzi scheme.
Ponzi schemes are great up until they just
running a real estate Ponzi scheme.
Ponzi schemes are great up until they just go bust.
So before working at Mr. Beast, James Warren was involved in a literal fraud. In fact,
it's true. Ponzi schemes are great until you get caught. Yeah, for real. Yeah, murder's great until you get caught.
And in the court transcripts of this case, this is the sentence hearing for Joshua Hutchins. I'm going to highlight testimony from just one of these victims, a retirement age woman named Sylvia. She testifies, I came to know Mr. Hutchins through a very reputable and successful real estate attorney who highly recommended Mr. Hutchins and who eventually left his agency to become the chief operating officer of Mr. Hutchins' investment firm. The chief operating officer of Mr. Hutchins' investment firm. She explains that the reason she trusted Mr. Hutchins was through the strong recommendation and endorsement from that very reputable and successful real estate agent. He represented Mr. Hutchins as highly competent and capable. He presented a successful track record and how Mr. Hutchins had delivered for other investments. On the next page, page 16, she testifies, my trust was and has been severely violated. This is the equivalent of financial rape.
Is that a real term? I kind of look it up. Financial. It says it's not a real word. I guess it's like them exacerbating it. Yeah, I think it's a metaphor, I guess.
Many of us entrusted Mr. Hutchins, who we've come to know to be fraudulent. Just $1.3+ million of worthless paper signed by him fraudulently misrepresented in the courts. So Hutchins was convicted for soliciting investment monies by telling victims that their money would be put to work on a specific property. In fact, Hutchins did not put all the investor funds to work on the property on which the investor was solicited to invest, and instead regularly used investor funds on other properties or personal expenses.
He got money and then just spend it on himself. Yeah, scamming's great until you get caught, chat.
Now, what kind of personal expenses? Well, apparently he bought an AR-15 and hundreds of rounds of ammunition. His wife had a domestic violence order of protection against him. He's accused of calling his wife a lying rat and sending menace. What? Photos of himself in tactical gear in the woods to her friends and family.
That is so powerful, man. sending threatening pictures to his friends and family, being like, "Bitch, shut your fucking mouth." Holy.
Again, according to Sylvia's testimony, James Warren represented Mr. Hutchins as highly competent and capable. She continues on page 17. James Warren, the then realtor who recommended me to Hutchins, also encouraged us to work with Mr. Hutchins on trying to make it work, and we did until it became very evident as to his apparent intent of complete fraud. So James appearing to sort of try to mediate this exchange, saying, hey, give him a chance, don't pursue him, don't sue him, just make it work, right?
Okay.
The real losses due to fraud are evident. Financially, he's devastated my retirement. I can only hope and thank the good Lord that I have a brain to be able to function and try to earn back as much as possible. The impact, over $1.3 million in real losses. These are not, I got a piece of property, it was all fraud. She goes on to describe.
Okay, but how is this relevant to Mr. Beast? The guy that was supposedly the secret CEO of Mr. Beast is friends with this schizo? I guess.
Describe her financial troubles through the years, supporting her mother who had Alzheimer's disease, how in the crash of 2008 she lost her job and for 2 years was unemployed. In 2014 she had a severe cancer diagnosis, was out of work for over a year. Okay. She continues, in spite of all that, I've lived very frugally and tried to make things work. I've made him know of all my history and I told him I could not take the risk. He and James Warren, the then realtor, stated, oh, real estate. She goes on to describe how they presented it as a safe investment opportunity for her, and then James Warren's business partner defrauded her of $1.3 million. Now, can I claim definitively that James Warren was aware of the fraud that was taking place and willingly complicit in helping Mr.
Allegedly
Hutchins defraud old ladies? No, but from what I've heard of James Warren's character, how he's hit ex-girlfriends, not let them leave the house, beat his dog, defrauded people in his own ways. Creative Juice is an interesting one that could be looked into, which was done with Mr. Beast, as well as another scheme that we'll get into that he conducted with LaCoya Hill. I personally believe that when he was working with Mr. Hutchins, he was in similar company. I think the COO of acquisitions would know and be sort of responsible for properties not being properly acquired through the court system.
Yeah, if this guy
Again, that's
beats
my opinion.
dogs.
That's all allegedly. Now, on to his alleged best friend, LaCoya Hill. They both went to UNC Chapel Hill together, and they both, after graduating, got into real estate. But by 2017, LaCoya Hill was running an adult entertainment event business in San Francisco.
I just wanna fucking dance.
Called LaCoya Hill Entertainment. Then in 2019, he was hired to Mr. Beast as a producer.
Chat, look away.
Our party evolved into this place where, you know, you have the drag queens, the muscle daddies, the bears, the twinks, the like posh boys.
Now, I'm all for personal freedoms. I believe adults should be able to do whatever they want.
Why is there a picture of Mr. Beast doing this? Grabbing his junk.
However, I question what qualified the sort of go-go dance drag daddy of San Francisco for a job producing YouTube content for children. You know, it'd also be weird if Mr. Beast hired Johnny Sins as the janitor, I guess. It's not the real issue, though. The issue is that in late 2021, he was allegedly fired for sexually assaulting his assistant. And I put fired in quotation marks because he was actually quietly moved to the dubbing company, which was Unilingo at the time. Here is proof that he used the LaCoya at unilingo.tv email, links back to him, links to these photos, one of which was the profile picture for his YouTube channel. Which also, after my first video, his YouTube channel mysteriously got deleted. And at some point, his Twitter also got deleted. I don't know.
Okay, that's a little bit incriminating.
That's when he sexually assaulted his assistant. I don't know if that's after my first video got posted. Either way, Booty Call Wednesdays are canceled. He was actually brought back to Mr. Beast in 2023 after sexually assaulting his assistant prior and promoted to Chief Financial Officer, which is how I personally was introduced to him. Here's some evidence from the internal Slack channel at Mr. Beast showing LaCoya Hill acting in some COO capacity, saying there's news reporters outside, do not engage with them. This was shortly after the Time magazine article came out. So here I have a document showing testimony from former Mr. Beast employees talking about LaQuaya Hill. When I say verified former Mr. Beast employee, I had them send some form of proof. I know who some of these people are. They just want to remain anonymous, but I'm willing to share this with like an independent third party if it needs to happen. Personally, I don't think Mr. Beast is going to deny sort of this LaQuaya Hill story that I'm going to show you.
Did I just hear a Discord notification from his side, too?
But here's the first testimony, and I'll say this person is especially credible in my opinion. I asked them, did you see or hear of any sexual misconduct at the company? They say yes. LaQuaya Hill, the current COO, in 2021, he had an assistant named victim's name. I heard LaQuaya acted very inappropriately with victim, booking hotel rooms with only one bed, walking around in his underwear, having victim come to his house and showing him his sex toy collection. Just in general, LaQuaya made victim uncomfortable. Victim started complaining to higher-ups and a report got written. LaQuaya was put on paid leave for like a month.
I can't, you know what? I know this is all hearsay, but there are so many instances of people who make so much money and then they harass employees. Yeah, I would not put it past them. Why does this come from the victim? This is hearsay? Look. It's hearsay, but if it's true, then the victim will come forward. Some of these victims are scared of the people with lots and lots of money. You do realize that, right? Yeah, it's very common.
Then Mr. Beast moved him to the dubbing company, and he was hired back in 2023 and was promoted to COO, even though Jimmy, James, and Sue 100% know his history. Also, I heard that when victim was let go, he was given $30,000 in severance. I could get you victim's number. I don't know if he'd talk. I respond, yeah, that'd be great. Also, is there proof he moved to the dubbing company? I could look. It was the original dubbing company called Unilingo. Mr. Beast practically forced them to hire LaQuaya, and then they poached Unilingo's employees and copied their whole business and created Creator Global. Verified employee number 2. I asked them the same question, have you heard of any sexual misconduct at the company? They say yes. I don't know how to spell the name, but LaQuaya, something like that. He was brought in last year after having not worked there for a year or so at a very high level. I respond, LaQuaya Hill. They say, the reason he had been asked to leave previously is that he had sexually harassed someone that still worked at the company when he was brought back. Yes, LaQuaya Hill.
And I always have to preface, it's alleged shit.
But they brought him back knowing he had sexually harassed an employee previously. And people often talk about LaQuaya making them very uncomfortable on shoots. I verified employee number 3. I'm looking into more accusations of sexual misconduct at the company, wondering if there's anything you could corroborate. Have you heard of anything about LaQuaya Hill? They respond, the old gay guy who likes to bang 18-year-old straight employees. Yeah, I've heard of him. Anything non-consensual to your knowledge? I heard he got in trouble for hooking up with his 18-year-old straight assistant, but the company kept it quiet from what I heard. He's a producer and worked in the adult entertainment before Mr. Beast. Yeah, LaQuaya Hill Entertainment. I heard he was fired for sexual harassment, then brought back a year later. That's what I heard too. Employee number 4. Do you know who LaQuaya Hill is? Yes. And you're aware of the case that has been covered up for some time. Explain. Essayed multiple people, apparently roofied multiple people as well. Verified employee number 5. I'll also say this person is especially credible, but they worked there a while ago, like 2020, 2021, around then. Okay, few things. LaQuaya sexually assaulted his assistant who was straight and LaQuaya was gay. You probably already know that. But James is best friends with him, so holy shit was that surprising that they kept him around way longer than they should have. There were reports of him making the assistant sleep in the same room / bed with him on trips, touching him inappropriately, and dangling his job in front of him. Employee number 6, did you hear anything about LaQuaya Hill? I heard that incident happened. I heard they let him go, and I heard they brought him back and just put him in a different department. And I think he's working there again. Now, recently, Mr. Beast has let LaQuaya Hill go. I want
to know what the story is of that freaking picture of Mr. Beast, man.
Sort of leaked email where they say,
Again, leaked emails is such a... I need to just see it for myself to believe it. I don't know.
Therefore, along with Jeff Hausenbold, our new president and COO, right? Alluding to the fact that LaQuaya Hill is no longer working there. Now, I have been open with Mr. Beast about the fact that I was going to cover LaQuaya Hill. This is a single frame in my first video where I reference LaQuaya. He's also in my Twitter header. And I've also just told people who work at Mr. Beast that they have to let LaQuaya Hill go. So they did what I wanted and let him go, right? Well, just on a whim, I decided to look into the Creator Global LinkedIn, and it had gone private to where everyone just shows up as a LinkedIn member, right? But I saw this, L, LinkedIn member, president of Creator Global. I thought, you know what, that's a little suspicious. So I reached out to one of my connections close to Mr. Beast and I said, hey, can you look into this account for me? Because sometimes if you have connections, you can see private LinkedIn accounts. And this is what they saw. LaKoya Hill, listed as the current president at Creator Global. No work history between graduating UNC in May 2001 and becoming the president at Creator Global in 2024. Dude, this is like the 3-cup game where you gotta like keep track of the pets and racists as Mr. Beast just moves them between companies.
Yeah, they didn't put his previous job of adult entertainment. It's possible.
But I kept moving them around. You know, like those killer whales at SeaWorld, after it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
Which I heard, you know, Mr. Beast or James Warren forced Unilingo to hire LaKoya as sort of part of their partnership without, you know, sending them the report on his alleged sexual misconduct at the company. I also have a voice memo from James Warren showing that they told Unilingo to process a $28,000 bonus for LaKoya, which there's definitely something suspicious going on with that.
Hey buddy, it's James. Sorry to be bothering you. I've done my absolute best not to bother you. But LaKoya had presented a bunch of stuff to me and Jimmy a little bit ago. All really great stuff. But he had asked me and Jimmy personally, he's like, hey, you know, can I have a $28,000 bonus for work I did in the past? And I'm like, yeah, of course, man.
Man, I hate nepotism, man. Corpo nepotism.
And the reason for that is I had brought him up to my level, and I don't take bonuses. So for like 2 years, he didn't get any bonuses when our guys were getting like crazy percentage bonuses.
Oh my god!
I need a favor. Sue cannot process this bonus through Beast. I need a solid. Can you please process a 28K bonus for LaKoya? Let me know. Bye.
And then they used LaKoya to try to steal Unilingo's business, poach their employees, take their clients, and then Mr. Beast launched Creator Global, where LaKoya Hill is currently listed as the president. So that's LaKoya Hill. And that's just what I can put on the record. I will say that if Mr. Beast tries to deny this, more evidence will be brought to light, and more people will definitely come out defending me, saying, hey, this is true, these allegations are true.
If this guy puts his money where his mouth is, then yeah, sure.
Is all true. Allegedly, in my opinion, for legal reasons. Okay, now let's move on to the man himself, Jimmy Donaldson.
What is this picture, man?
First, I'll show this testimony from another former Mr. Beast employee just to show sort of the work culture, especially from a female's perspective. She says, on my very first day, I was told to avoid being alone in a room with certain people in positions of power. At least once a week, I was subjugated to inappropriate questions and conversations. Once, a male coworker asked me what I would do if Jimmy assaulted or harassed me. On another occasion, the same coworker said it wasn't fair that women could just decide a past sexual encounter wasn't consensual. Many of the men I worked with would make assault and pedophilia jokes on a daily basis.
Okay.
They would scream and hit walls when they got upset. The minute any woman leaves a room, they would talk about if/how they would fuck her. I've heard men comment on female contestants' bodies many times. Not everyone behaves this way, but no one openly speaks out against it in fear of losing their job. If you complain about any of this, you'll be shamed for being too sensitive or just ignored. You can't take anything to HR either because Jimmy's mom runs it. It's pretty common for people to essentially get paid to leave and
Jimmy's mom runs HR. No.
stay quiet if they make enough noise about something.
No, that is so weird and a conflict of interest in my opinion. Isn't that fucked up? Like, if that's true. Jimmy's mom has got it going on. Mr. Beast's mom runs human resources. Really? I don't know. It could be. It's possible. It could be true. Yeah, you never know.
There is no employee handbook, by the way, if you ask for one or what the company's
She does work at the company, but like the human resources part, I don't know.
Policies are. They just tell you to ask them and they'll let you know if anything is against the rules. But again, there's nothing in writing, which is true. The leaked document is just the production manual. not given to all employees. Here's another testimony. This person will go on the record. This is Jess, who accused Ava Chris Tyson of sexual assault. I think her case has been sort of mostly ignored because she wasn't a minor when it happened. But she was a Mr. Beast employee, and you can see in her evidence, in her communications with the company, the clear signs of a cover-up. You can see them like threatening her with legal action and emails and saying like, oh, we're going to have a law firm investigate this. Well, they had one firm do an internal investigation, McGuire Woods LLP, the same law firm that sent me my first cease and desist. But then they hired, I guess, Harvey Weinstein's legal team, allegedly, to...
That's going to be a lot of money, man. That's got to be so much money.
Re-review everything. So I guess they weren't happy with the results of the first internal investigation. Also, yeah, this new law firm, Quinn Emanuel, Mr. Beast has worked with them previously, allegedly, to internally investigate LaKoya Hill's sexual misconduct. So,
and we investigated our own company internally, and we have found nothing wrong that we have done.
Why don't you make that report public,
Classic.
Jimmy? Anyway, here's Jess's testimony. I only hung out with Jimmy a handful of times, but he definitely was a little more reserved around me because I wasn't a part of his inner circle, or the boys club as it's called. I did hear Jimmy straight up say that the guy making a documentary on him right now has footage of him saying stuff that would absolutely get him canceled. It's just a well-known thing the boys club is misogynistic and looks down on women in the company despite what they might say publicly. Behind closed doors, the women in the company know that the culture is a problem. I have heard multiple stories of Jimmy being directly informed of SA happening at the company and proactively working to keep it quiet. So Jess directly implicating Jimmy in the SA cover-ups. LaKoya with an 18-year-old straight assistant. So she's one of the people corroborating that story. Ava told Jimmy about a time she was essayed by another talent member on a private jet, and talent members/employees making advances towards contestants was a regular occurrence.
Oh my god. Chat, if they stream this, I will actually do the entire court streams. I would. That would be so good. That would be insane content to watch. God, it's not going to. I feel like they wouldn't never do that. I feel like they would never ever do that. I don't even know how it works. How do you get permission to publicly post live stream or live stream for a court case? I have no idea how it works. I still don't know, even though I watched the whole Johnny Depp thing. No idea. I think it depends on the state. Yeah. I'm imagining it would be done in North Carolina or whatever. I just wish every victim would come out at once. It's not like Jimmy can sue everyone, right? Yeah, he absolutely can. He has more money than all of the people combined. Isn't it public record? But guys, there's a big difference between something being public record and something being live streamed or streamed to the public. You guys are literally not understanding what you're saying. You have to get permission, and it depends on the state. Not every state is the same.
The reason all of this was able to happen for so long is because Jimmy is deeply misogynistic and only respects what he considers to be traditional women. He pushed those values into the company when he created it, and it resulted in several SA allegations we know about, and probably a lot more we don't know yet. Which I will say, a lot of the SA allegations are still not public. Like, man, just fire James Warren and LaKoya Hill. Fire them, don't just move them around.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to start dropping nukes. Anyway, let's. I'm going to move Maddie Spadell away from all this. I just want to touch on this briefly. So Maddie Spadell, who's Mr. Beast's very public ex-girlfriend of 2.5 years, posted this on her Instagram story. She doesn't mention Jimmy by name. It's sort of vague. I think probably either because
this is his ex-girlfriend and she's posting publicly about this shit?
she's under an NDA, or maybe she's just testing the waters to see how people respond before sharing more information. But also, it's not that vague if you have reading comprehension and can read context clues. She says she spent years being quiet, never acknowledging that time in her life. 19 to 21 are formative years. Impacted.
Yeah, I can, guys, 19 to 21 is still really naive in my book. 18 is super naive. I'm sorry. I can't really explain it in words, but you are barely like understanding how people work at like 18 to 21.
She saw herself and how she trusted men. Months of therapy. She says how he treats other women will ultimately be how he treats you. So how does Jimmy treat other women?
I don't really get along with women. I don't really get along with women. I don't really get along with women.
Well, women are stupid because they're inferior to men.
That when she
True.
and a group of contestants who were menstruating during the event had asked the production staff about getting their underwear more quickly, she had been told that it was not a medical emergency.
You'll never actually respect a woman, but just act like you respect them.
My God.
Mr. Beast withheld my birth control. I have ovarian cysts. You can't just stop taking birth control.
I don't really get along with women.
Also in this podcast, Jimmy goes on to talk about his relationship with his current girlfriend, Tia, in very weird ways, in my opinion.
For us now, like an idea of a date is just to like take an IQ test and then study and see if we can get it higher.
I can't.
That sounds so boring. Holy. No offense. I mean, if you do that for fun, like,
The idea of a date is just to like take an IQ test. And then she was like, I'm an author. And I was like, fuck yeah, good. She has a hobby. And then I just DM'd her. I was like, oh, so your book. Can I read it? She sent it over, read the whole book, and it was just like acting like it was the greatest book ever. I don't really get along with women.
It's all of our jobs to protect our friends, our moms, our wives, our sisters, our daughters, ourselves from people like that. That's a pretty...
That is pretty damning. I'm not gonna lie. If you're making public posts like this and like being the face of like Mr. Beast's girlfriend so openly, yeah, I don't know. What is this other thing over here? 3 years away from that weirdo. So that like counts into like the day, like the year. So it's obviously talking about Mr. Beast. My skin is clear. My relationship and friendships are flourishing. I'm frolicking in a field. She's so vague. She said nothing from the looks of it. I don't need to. Not putting myself through that shit again, but thanks. I feel like that just shows this wasn't an amicable, like, good breakup where it's like, oh, maybe we grew apart. Maybe you're too busy for me. This is like, it's like, fuck you. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit telling.
Clear statement, if you ask me. Now, I almost feel like there's been a campaign against Maddie Spadell to discredit her before she's even shared any information. A lot of like clout chaser and gold digger allegations. I'll say this is also from that Rolling Stone article. They referenced the breakup. The reporter says, you know, Maddie Spadell, who's appeared in a handful of videos, those in Mr. Beast's inner circle told me that Spadell had been a positive influence, forcing Donaldson to prioritize work-life balance more. Donaldson did not want to comment on the record about the breakup, citing Spadell's privacy, yet Chris Tyson, says Donaldson's singular focus on work was a major contributing factor.
Yeah, obviously, because he loves money. This guy loves money.
I think that's what he's going to be looking for next. Somebody who can match his obsession with business and money and all that kind of stuff.
The fact that Chris says that as well, chat, that is a really big red flag. You caring about money and business that much? Like, you make millions of dollars and you just can't, like, let it go? Maybe, like, chill a little bit? Simmer down? I'm not saying that this guy's, like, not sounding like a bit of a schizo or that he's, like, he has no, like, actual concrete, like, proof. This is all just alleged. But it is kind of a red flag for a character, man. Where there's smoke, there's fire, man.
Not a bad word to be said about Maddie Spadell from Jimmy or the people in his inner circle, which is pretty unusual of an ex-girlfriend. I'll show some of the brain dead media coverage headed by Cuckstar and his news organization Drama Alert. So here's just one of his many posts about Maddie. A thread of every time Mr. Beast's ex-girlfriend allegedly shaded him, downplaying the clout-chasing claims against her. So let's see this extensive thread. One post of a TikTok where she says she was traumatized at 19. Why do you think that's about Jimmy, Keemstar? Allegedly complaining about Mr. Beast fans. This is her most popular TikTok period with over 6.5 million views and was posted last year. And then
I absolutely believe this. Rereading journal entries I wrote a year and a half ago when I was getting nonstop death threats and hate mail from my ex. Boyfriend's 12-year-old stands for simply existing. I 100% believe this. I 100,000,000% believe this. There are girls out there probably like who are 13, 14 years old and they want to be Mr. Beast's girlfriend and they send her death threats. This happens to like celebrities, this happens to like musicians, movie stars. This is not a joke. Yeah, 100%.
Kamala goes on to give one more example, and that's the end of the thread. So see, her most popular TikTok seems to be alluding to her relationship with Mr. Beast. And then she has hundreds of more TikToks where she never even tried to recreate the success of that first TikTok, right? Like if I'm her social media manager, I'm telling her, hey, post about Jimmy Moore. And she obviously knows that if she did that, she would get more views. And yet she doesn't do it. Hundreds of TikToks, about 30 of them are about Taylor Swift, maybe 3 are about her ex-boyfriend of 2.5 years, which for a Swiftie, it's extremely, extremely low to post only 3 times about your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Friend who's now incredibly famous. So if she was cloud chasing, she's doing a horrible job at it. Now, drama.
Yeah, I would. This whole like she's cloud chasing and complaining about it. It's like I don't know.
Alert, on the other hand, has posted more times in the past month about Maddie Spadell than Maddie Spadell has ever posted about Mr. Beast. So I just wanted to address that because I think Mr. Beast knows Maddie has nukes against him and he's trying to discredit her. So let's look at this leaked email. This is from Mr. Beast. It says, yesterday Dawson saved 100 billion. Whoa, guys, whoa. Guys, I don't know how that got there. That was the wrong email. Guys, I don't know how that got there. That was the wrong email. I don't know how that got there. So I've actually heard from pretty credible people that this email was not leaked. So, why lie about it? Devious or deceptive tendencies. Here he is quoted in that Rolling Stone article saying, I'm great at lying. But I want to focus in on this part where they say, therefore, along with Jeff Hausenbold, our new president and COO, we will be hiring a new chief human resource officer, chief financial officer, interesting, and general counsel, along with other roles to add capacity and competencies to foster a better internal culture as we continue to grow. So what's interesting about this is that the only person named in an initiative to foster a better internal culture is Jeff Hausenbold. But what's ironic about this is that Jeff Hausenbold has been in the news previously for the internal culture that he helped create as managing partner at the SoftBank Vision Fund. Here's New York Post. Nasty executives shaped macho culture at SoftBank Vision Fund. And here's Bloomberg Business Week. SoftBank Vision Fund employees depict a culture of recklessness. It has also been described as an environment of sycophancy and harassment. So seemingly all the problems that people have with
classic.
Mr. Beast's internal culture. But this Bloomberg article also goes to call Jeff out by name. Jeff Hausenbold collects cars, including a blue Ferrari, and claims to own a 20,000 bottle wine cellar, although he doesn't drink himself. Acquaintances describe him as smart and arrogant and almost entirely lacking in self-awareness. He's also got...
Bro, you crashed my fucking... You crashed my stream elements, man! Alright, hold. Come on, please don't crash. Please, just wait. We're still up. Oh my god, regular gamer! What? Got 100 gifted subs! You fucker, I literally thought I was gonna crash out. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. If you gotta give the subs, please say thank you. Pretty please. And yes, we got plenty of Dodgers. Make her pee her pants. No, man. Let me finish the video. I'll say thank you again, okay? Alright? Thank you again. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Don't fucking do it again.
Found away with some questionable behavior in a discussion about whether to invest in the stationary bike startup Peloton in 2017.
Sucks, by the way.
According to 2 people who were in the meeting, Hausenbold opined that its exercise equipment appealed in part to men who masturbated to its workout videos.
Is that Dante?
Wanna jerk off!
Look at this!
SoftBank denied the claims, but it's an oddly specific thing for two people to make up a story about masturbating to Peloton workout videos.
Of all the things you could, like, beat off to, Peloton is not it, man. No, seriously. Of all the things?
Yeah, maybe I don't see the vision with hiring this guy as the new president. Also,
like, you could
this is just what I can share
Google.
right now. I do have more information that I'm trying to get out. Trying to get permission from the victims and everything. Also trying to save some things for when Mr. Beast responds. So anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching.
That's kind of strong, Chad. He will not respond. He said he would respond after the third video comes out. Yeah, he said he would respond after the part 3. That's gonna be insane, bro. That's gonna be mind-blowing, chat. Clappies, chat, clappies. Hold on, let me link it to you so you can watch it yourself. There you go. Ba-boom. Clappies. Very nice. Yeah, that ending was kind of powerful. His response to you in court? Yeah, it probably will be something like that, won't it? Again, I really, really, really hope they stream it. That would be so good. Oh, yeah.